Barca demonstrated again that they are the better team this season. Real Madrid can just not compete. And I wasn't hopeful when this game started, but obviously as a Madrid fan, I wanted Madrid to win. I wanted somebody to step up. I wanted somebody to do something special, and we got like some glimpses of that. So even though it was a defeat, at least I saw some fight. Could have used a little bit more fight, but at least I saw some fight. So Barca this season are the better team. Like, that's just hands down. That's the case, right? They beat us twice, embarrassed us twice, and then I think also in this game as well. Even though it was a little more subtle, I think they embarrassed us as well. They played the better team. We had like a good 20 minutes, in the second half, 25 minutes, and then after scoring the second goal, we just dissipated. We just went away. We thought we won the game. But I knew this game was not going to stay like 1-0. Madrid scored in the 77th minute. I was like, this game is not staying 2-1 because Madrid cannot defend. And in that second half, Barcelona had not really attacked. I don't know what happened to Barcelona in that game. Madrid, Ancelotti did make some nice changes that actually changed the flow of the game and gained a little bit more control in midfield. And I think actually surprised Barcelona. So that was a nice way of innovating and just causing a little bit more trouble, right? But when Barca had to now come out and play, they could play because Madrid can't defend, like they can't defend as a team, So at the beginning of the game with the lineup, so I was already like, yeah, okay, I'm not for this lineup. So a few things like were red flags for me. Mendy should have never started. Never should have started, man. Never should have started. He was not fit. He's been out for 3-4 weeks, and now you put him in such a big game like this to go up against Lamine Yamal. Like, no, man. No. You do not do that. So when I saw Mendy on the team sheet, I was not happy with that. And I also remember a time, I think this was in, I can't remember what year, but we're playing Man City, and we had a few injuries. So we're playing Man City with a few injuries, and Zidane, he risked Mendy and he risked Sergio Ramos, and they both played. There might have been actually a third player who wasn't fit in that game. And in that game, Madrid were embarrassed, because we had 2-3 players who couldn't run, And luckily, Mendy after 6 minutes wasn't able to continue, right? But he was not fit to play the game. Don't play unfit players. Don't play injured players, and don't bring players back for a big game like this who aren't even match fit, So Garcia should have been playing as left back, Garcia should have been playing at left back against Arsenal. Yes, I know Fran Garcia is not the best defender, but hey, he's what we got. He's what we got. So you got to use all the tools that you have available to you. So you have Fran Garcia. So we've had him this season. So why haven't you made him a better defender? Why hasn't he become a better defender after under Ancelotti and the team, right? Okay, you use what you have at your disposal. Same thing with Alaba playing against Arsenal as a left back. Alaba is still recovering, still getting match fit, still building his confidence. Man, we're asking too much of Alaba. And hey, I mean, if you played against Arsenal, why didn't Alaba play against Barcelona? If we didn't trust Fran Garcia, so I think that's a big mistake at left back. And now Mendy, how long is he gonna be out for now? So I think that was a big mistake. Vini up front alone, he can't do it. He can't play that role. He's not a striker. He's not a striker. He can't hold the ball. He can't wrestle with defenders. He can't like put pressure. He can't do that role. Vini's position is very simple. He's a left midfielder, a left winger. He's a left winger. Play him in that position. That's pretty much the only position he can play. He can't play on the right wing. He can't play center forward. He can't play striker. He's a left wing, right? So in the first half, okay, we win the ball, or maybe Vini has the ball, right? And then he has no backup. He has no backup because we're playing like a 4-5-1, right? Which at this point, man, it doesn't even matter if we have 5 people in midfield because they just don't know what they're doing. So it really doesn't matter if we have 6 people in midfield. There's no organization. There's no coordination. There's like nothing in that midfield. Like case in point, the first goal from Barcelona, it was Bellingham won the ball, which he did a lot this game, which I was quite happy with. And he was winning the ball in defense and in midfield. So he was a lot deeper in some instances, which I believe that's where Bellingham should be playing because we can't have 4 forwards, all right? So Bellingham wins the ball in the center of the pitch. And then there was an opportunity for like a through ball to Vini, and he tried it. But then I think it was Curabasa won the ball back, right? He intercepted. And then gives it to Pedri. Pedri gives it to Yamal. And then that's where you really saw like Fran Garcia, when he came onto the pitch, was not confident. Why would he be confident? Ancelotti has been sidelining him in these important games. And he didn't want to play him in this game. So yeah, he comes on 6 minutes in the first half. Of course he's not confident. And then on top of that, he's also playing against Lamine Yamal. So I could understand his hesitation, and you could see that. He didn't know what to do. He was so nervous, it was crazy, man. So Yamal in the first half could do anything he wanted, and Garcia couldn't get close to him, right? So Lamine is coming in, literally walking in, man. Like he's walking in Garcia, I don't know what he's doing. And then he passes it to Pedri, back to Pedri. And we have plenty of people behind the ball. We have plenty of people back there. And our midfield, like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know, Tchouaméni should have gone and was defending somebody else who was helping with Lamine. And then you had Valverde. I don't know why Valverde is running towards the ball. He should be checking who's around him, where's the threats. And then you have Ceballos. He's literally walking back, and it's like... It really doesn't matter like who we have back there because there's no coordination. They don't know what to do. They don't know what the strategy is, right? So Barca in the first half were hands down the better team, and you really could see like every single time this season when we come up against like a top performing team, you can really see that Madrid, they struggle with playing from the back. And that is in large part that we just don't have the players right now, right? We don't have Carvajal, we don't have Militao, we don't have Alaba from the good old days. So the defenders we have now, Asensio, amazing prospect, still learning his trade. But I just think he can actually, he can play that role. But we don't have confidence in our back line to actually build up play from the back, right? And they also don't have help from the midfield or help from the strikers, but let's say help from the midfield in terms of somebody dropping back, and trying to help out and opening the game a little bit and giving an option, right? So they don't have that. So we can't play from the back. So Courtois doesn't feel comfortable giving the ball to his defense. So he goes long. We go long. We don't have big center forwards, We don't have people who want to wrestle, So we can't win the ball. We can't win the aerial duels. So like we just can't keep the ball, when we have it, right? We can't play in midfield. There's no link up play. There's no coordination. There's no synchronization. Bellingham had a really weird game because at some points like. A lot of Madrid's chances actually came from him winning the ball in midfield and then finding those passes. And in some cases there was like where is he? Like he's just he's just so far away from from Pedri, just so far away from like where the ball is. So when it comes to his defensive duties, he's just so far away from the actual Barcelona player or the threats, right? And that's just Madrid, man. They can't press. The front line, Vini doesn't press. Mbappe doesn't press. The midfield is lumbered. They're walking. They're literally walking. There was a point in in the second half when It was on the 61st minute, and I was like, this is literally like a symbol of what Madrid is, you know, when it comes to just like a cohesiveness and teamwork. De Jong, Barca won the ball back. De Jong was on the ball. This was in their own half. We were after attacking. It was a transition, and then De Jong is literally just like, he's literally walking. He walks 20 meters. Nobody even close to him. He walks 30 meters. He breaks through the lines. He cuts out like four players, and then now he's already like in the center of the pitch, you know. And I'm like, this is literally Madrid. Like, teams can just walk through midfield, can walk through the defense, and there's just no pressure whatsoever, you know. And that's been evident too much this season. You know, so yeah, I think there's some big changes that need to happen. Just some building that teamwork, building that game plan. I will say for Ancelotti in the second half, making those changes, bringing on Endrick and Arda Güler was nice, man. Was very, very nice. Like it was something new. Or just something unexpected, right? Unexpected. And it took Barca by surprise. Because I think at that point then we kind of ended up playing, this dynamic kind of formation. It was like a 4-3-1-2. So you had now Bellingham up front, playing that center forward position. And then you had Arda Güler playing alongside Mbappe, was that at this point? Yeah, Mbappe. And then you had Vini out on the wing, kind of like in midfield, hugging the touchline. And then you had Valverde also now, Valverde was just bombing forward, like he was now a lot more aggressive, right? And then Modric just filling in. So it was actually quite interesting. And it gave us a little bit more control off the ball. And it was actually because the game was late, you know, like it started for me like 10 o'clock at night, so the game was late, right? So I was like pretty much like passed out on the couch, like watching the game and everything. And then it was when he made those changes and Madrid started to actually like play, you know, like some good moves, you know. I was getting excited. I was like, okay, Madrid, you know, they're getting into this game, you know. So then they were playing really well and they just kept up the intensity. Barca couldn't handle them at all. Second half, Barcelona only started playing, you know, after we scored that second goal. But so we scored the first goal, which was actually funny because, like I said, we put long balls up and then Barcelona were winning like 95% of the long balls and the second balls, right? But there was two instances where Madrid actually, they didn't win the aerial duel, they just won the second ball. So this happened for the lead up to the free kick that Mbappe got. And Mbappe scores an amazing, a good free kick. And when Mbappe came on, like I was actually excited, you know, and I liked that he took the responsibility of like wanting to get Madrid back in the game, and he did that, you know. The only thing is that like after the second goal, after the first goal, I think it was first goal, after you scored, he kind of went quiet. So that was the only thing, you know. So and then the second goal, good corner, to Mendy stepping up, scoring the goal, which was nice. I still didn't notice what he was doing the rest of the game. But yeah, maybe I'm not seeing what he's bringing to the team. But yeah, I think it is quite hard because he literally, our midfield is like Bellingham. I don't know what he's told. You know, he's told, okay, just go forward when you feel like it. So he goes forward. Then you now leave. Normally, now you leave Valverde and Mendy in midfield. Valverde then has to cover Bellingham and Vasquez and everybody else, and then Mendy is now left in that position in deep midfield by himself. You know, so yeah, he's to defend. Yeah, to be a defensive midfielder, like really isolated like that. Man, not many people can do it. You know. Not everybody's like Casemiro, you know. So not everyone's like a Kante, you know. So it's T'Challa Mendy, he doesn't read the game at that level, and he's not quick. He's not quick enough. Even though I think he has the pace, you know, but he's just not quick enough, you know. He doesn't think quick, you know. Like, where's the threat, you know? So that midfield just needs. We have the players, you know. Maybe one additional player or something, but we have the players in midfield to be able to dominate midfield, you know. There's no reason why our midfield cannot compete with Barcelona's midfield. Yes, I know Barcelona are a lot better on the ball, know how to pass and everything, but here, like, we have Bellingham, we have Valverde, we have Camavinga. Like, you can't tell me that like that midfield can't compete with Barcelona, can't compete with any midfield in the world. Nah, I don't believe that. So yeah, it was a interesting game. So like there was another thing as well is like even with, for example, like the lack of game plan, lack of strategy, lack of tactics, lack of anything to actually get a fan excited about this team, right? There's too many players that are playing poorly this season. Like, too many players, man. Rudiger, like, playing terrible. Like, that game, I don't know what he was doing, man. Like, he's really... Rudiger has, like, a really good gift of, like, just not being where he needs to be, you know? Like, goals go in, balls come into the defense, he's not there. I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing, right? So there was points where like, okay, he's following, like he was following Ferran Torres because Ferran Torres was like dropping deep in some cases, and then Rudiger will follow him, but he's not tight enough. So then now Asensio and Fran are left behind, right? And this is mainly in the second half. Are left at the back, you know, by themselves, you know. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna go forward, if you're gonna follow him, like be tight. If you're not tight, drop back, drop back, you know. So yeah, he was exposing our defense. But yeah, I also think the tactics that Ancelotti gave was okay. Literally, like we're not just gonna push forward. Literally, just like risk. They were risking the game, right? To get that goal. And then we're just leaving like three players at the back, going man to man, right? And it worked, you know, until like until we scored our second goal, and then they stopped playing, you know. I was literally like, okay, it's 2-1. I'm like, okay, how have Madrid turned this game around? Like, how have Barcelona let this game slip, you know? And Barcelona, man, like they really shouldn't have let that game slip, because the second half they didn't come out, they didn't perform, you know. Rafinha was not clinical. If Rafinha was more clinical with his passes and some of his shots, man, could have been another like big scoreline against Madrid, you know. So I think after we scored the second goal, then I was like, there's no way staying 2-1. So Barcelona are gonna score because we cannot defend, and we're not gonna be able to handle the pressure. So once Barcelona actually started to now play their game and now to threaten the ball, then it was easy. It's just so easy to shoot on Courtois. You know, like, it's just so easy to pass through that midfield, that defense, man. It's just so easy. Pass through the forward line. So easy. And then Courtois made a mistake. Hey, he's human, you know. But he made a mistake. I think for that second goal, he should have stayed in his goal line. I think Rudiger pretty much kind of had it covered. It was a little bit risque, but I think Rudiger would have had it covered. So yeah, Courtois was in no man's land. So, but hey, he's human. He can make one mistake in a while, right? So yeah, man. And then players not playing well. Rudiger, Vini's become so predictable. Rodrigo this season has been very, very poor. You know, like there was he started off poor. He continued poor, and he's finishing off poor. There was a stint where he was performing, you know, and people were like, okay, yeah, Rodrigo's really playing well, like he's playing well, better than Vini and Mbappe and everything. But it was a couple of games, man. It was a couple of games. I think this whole season Rodrigo hasn't been good enough for the level that we expect of him. You know, he needs to be scoring more goals, needs to be scoring more assists, needs to be getting in the game a lot more. When Vini and Mbappe are not performing, you need to step in. you know. So I think Rodrigo this season hasn't performed, you know. So we need him. We need him back at the level that he showed previously, you know. Players like Brahim not performing, you know. He started off the season quite well, but then he had that injury at the start of the season, and since that injury, yeah, just really hasn't picked up his momentum from the beginning of the season and until and last season, you know. And Bellingham, man, I feel sorry for Bellingham because, man, he's not getting any instructions. There's no order. So it's now when you're looking at the game, it's making Bellingham look like a poor midfielder, you know, like because it's like, okay, like what is he doing? He's not really even in midfield, you know. When he goes up front, you know, the players aren't finding him. You know, he's like he's too far away from like the actual midfielder to actually defend and to press and everything. And then he gets frustrated, you know. He gets frustrated, and like even for example, like there was the first goal that we scored, so that through ball went in, right? That through ball that he was wanting to pass to Vini and then was blocked off. He puts his hands in the sky like this and just stands there, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? The game is still on. Yes, the pass didn't go through. Okay, now you have to defend. Barcelona have the ball. He literally stands there, 3, 4, 5 seconds. I'm like, dude, keep playing. Like, where's the intensity? Where's the fight? You know? And then that's where then Pedri goes on and gives it to Lamar, right? So Bellingham could have been back there defending, helping us prevent that goal, but no. So yes. It was. Yeah, at least it wasn't too embarrassing, you know. It wasn't too embarrassing. So yeah, a lot of talking points and still a lot more. I covered quite a lot, but yeah, still ruminating a lot of things in my head. But also, what sources have been saying is that now, after the Copa del Rey final, now Ancelotti and Florentino Perez are going to sit down and then are going to decide what's happening. And it does look like, okay, Ancelotti is out. And then if reports are right, then Alonso is in. So I'm looking forward to that, to seeing what Alonso can do with this crop of players, you know. And I think up front, yeah, we'll work with the players we have. Midfield, we'll work with the players we have. Defense is what we need to clean up. So I think there's a there's an operation needed in defense because we don't have defenders. The defenders that are playing now are not good. Left back, man. You know, before I was kind of like, okay, left back position can kind of like wait a little bit and maybe be improved like not next season, but the season after, you know. Because, for example, let's say right back, they're sorting that out now. So I think is close to being agreed that Trent is coming. So then we have Trent and Carvajal for right back. And man, like I'll make a video on Trent and everything and how I think he could work for Madrid, but how I think he will also be a liability for Madrid because Trent can't defend, man. So Trent is not coming to help our defense. Let's just say that, all right? He's not coming to help our defense. So we need a centre back, maybe 2, and I'm talking top centre backs, man. Or they need to find a gem, you know. They need to find like another Varane, you know, another Pepe, you know. They need to find those gems, right? Another Ramos, you know. But man, left back, we need a left back. Yeah, I actually think Fran, this game, yeah, highlighted for me because I'm not on Fran Garcia's case like most people are, man. I'm like, here, he's a decent defender, you know, he's a decent backup to have, you know. But the thing is that like our star left back, Mendy, has not been performing, you know, and not just this season, man. Mendy has been on a decline. And I'm one of, or used to be one of Mendy's biggest fans because I thought he was an amazing defender. But the last maybe 2-3 years, he's been on a steady decline, you know. So I don't think I think we need to get rid of Mendy. We need to get rid of Frank Garcia, and possibly and then get 2 new left backs, right? But yeah, so I think there is actually like a operation, a big enough operation needed in defense. And if they don't do it, man, I don't see I don't see how that's gonna help Alonso next season. You know, if our left backs aren't performing, if Mendy's not fit, if Militao's coming back, he's not gonna be 100%. Carvajal's coming back, not gonna be 100%. So yeah, I think that defensive line, man, it needs to be corrected for next season, along with Alonso coming in. All right, guys, this was Real Madrid reviews, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the game, you know, and saw your own insights. But I think this season, man, has really highlighted. This game has highlighted that Madrid are really behind, man. I think Madrid are really behind, you know. It's going to take a few tweaks, you know. I think next season could be a possibility that, because, man, I mean, Barcelona did it. They got Hansi Flick, and then now they're competing for all cups, right? So, yeah, we get Alonso the next season, man. We're competing again. Competing and dominating. Competing and dominating. So, it just needs a few little tweaks here and there. And that's going to start with Alonso coming in. And then Ancelotti stepping down. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys on the next review.